started well, and I had some things that had held me down. That's why I'm coming late, so I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know the question.
Right.
Yes, can you
I'm
go
gonna
ahead?
get to you with your question. Yeah. Let us take some time to know a little bit about Professor Akumba Mike Anthony, who is a chancellor of Christosis University Institute, based in Cameroon, with satellite institutions in Malawi, Haiti, and the USA. He's a professor of social and patristic anthropology. He is a holder of a Doctor of Theoretical Sciences in Anthropocosmology from Elio Evangelical University, Haiti, Doctor of Theology from Cambridge Theological Seminary, USA, and a PhD in Patristic Studies from Christosis University Institute. He is a foundational. He is also the CEO of Multi Cash Investment Incorporation, a financial and business consulting firm. He is equally the pioneer, genius leader, and founder of Pan African Freedom Movement, also known as a United Africa for Economic Empowerment, and a telepolitical analyst and motivational conference speaker. So, welcome, Professor, to talk to Africans tonight. And my very first question to you is, why do you think entrepreneurship is a key to Africa's development?
Thank you, Blantin, for that question. I want to begin by saying I remember, I think it's last week, where I actually began by saying a lot of Africans have a wrong mindset about what entrepreneurship is all about, because most of the times we look at entrepreneurship from doing business, and that is what the African Development Bank has actually quantified as entrepreneurship. Because when you look at the statistics that the African Development Bank places in relation to entrepreneurship in Africa, it says among the working class population in Africa, 22% of such a population is actually practically involved in entrepreneurship. And you know, that is wrong statistics, because it is
And
not.
they go ahead by saying it's the highest rate in the
Yes,
world.
and that is the highest in the world. But that is a limitation that is wrong. Why do I say it's wrong? Because most of these individuals whom you see that gets engaged in these startups, as they call it, businesses, they actually get involved in selling small things around the streets because of lack of employment that they are facing in their communities and that in their societies. And as a result of that lack of employment, they are now pushed to get into actually starting up some businesses which they could run with, small enterprises, which, if you want to calculate very well, do not make up to $100 at times. And that the African Development Bank says that is the highest. And I have a problem with it, because when it comes to my understanding of innovation, in relation to the statistics, you discover that just a few of these entrepreneurs that are claimed in Africa actually introduce new products into the market and new services. How do they introduce new products and new services? That is where innovation comes in. That's why I said entrepreneurship is more of innovation than just running a business. It brings you into a place where you create or innovate, introduce into the market. So you bring something to give to the society, a service a, or a good, which as an individual you could exchange for money. And those are that's the situation of Africa. And I will be sincere to say that is the highest employer in Africa. Entrepreneurship, in quotes, is the highest employer in Africa, because of the lack of jobs, people are pushed to get into this. And like The African Development Bank says that women are the highest. That is true. Why? Because they are the ones that most at times find it difficult to get jobs. But if Africa is going to develop, then we must actually encourage true entrepreneurship. We must awaken that spirit of entrepreneurship, which is the spirit of creativity and the spirit of innovation, where African youths, though they do not lack the ability to innovate, but their innovations most at times are killed, where we get to start involving in encouraging them to be able to carry on with what they come with. I could have posted some pictures and videos of a young man of 17 years who is presently in Douala as an IDP from the northwest region of Cameroon. He started using a piece of cartons to actually create model planes and model cars and model caterpillars and all that. And he could remote control them. And now at the age of 17, he has been able to innovate these cartons, transform them into metals. And he flew his first model plane, which that to me is the technology that is used in making what we call drones today. Because he could remote control it, it flew for a while, then he remote control it to land again. That's to make you understand that this young man has the capability, has a potential, he has that innovative spirit in him. And that is what every child in Africa has. The problem is, most at times, the parents do not identify this innovative spirit in the kids to encourage. And as a result of that lack of encouraging this innovative spirit, children are prone to go to do career studies which do not have anything to do with their lives. I remember when I was a young man, they used to buy me bags, shoes, and all that. I would throw them away, and I'll make my own bags to use to go to school, using cartons also. Then I'll wrap them with nylon papers in order to protect rain from accessing it with my books. I used to make my shoe. I'll go and pick bags that, leather bags that had been abandoned. I'll use them in making my own shoe. And you know what? That spirit could be encouraged when I was young, but rather I was discouraged from taking that particular direction. When I told my parents, I think I want to go to a technical school, they told me, no, you are my first son. I want you to do grammar. You need to go to this. And that is how that innovative spirit in me was killed. And now I was forced to take a direction to please my parents. And that is a kind of education where we have in Africa, where parents orient their children to fulfill their dreams, not proning the children to encourage the innovative spirit and creative spirit that is in them. And that error is what is killing the thinkers of Africa. That thinking spirit, that innovative spirit that Africans have is killed while they are still children, because they are prone to fulfill the dreams of their parents, not their inner ability. And that has become the greatest limitation to Africa's progress. But if Africa is going to excel, then we must do the same thing Europeans are doing. Europeans don't send children to school because they want them to go and become what they want. They send these children to school based on what they saw the children from their young age actually demonstrating as their ability. We follow that ability to encourage the child to grow towards that. That is what we must be able to encourage. And that is what will provoke the society of Africa to become innovative, creative, and entrepreneurial. And once that happens, you will see emergence. Landin asked me the question, why do I think that entrepreneurship is the pathway to Africa's economic explosion, expansion, development, all that. I believe in it because I know that is what works. Entrepreneurship is more than what most of us would think. We have been made to believe that entrepreneurship is more of, might we have to be able to go buy some little goods, come sit down and sell them. That's just doing that's commercialization. You are a commercial agent. You are not an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs do create, they do innovate. And with their innovative spirit, they carry it to the finish. What do I mean by to the finish? They carry it to the marketplace where they exchange their ideas, they exchange their products, they exchange their goods and services for the money, not because of the money, but because of the satisfaction that comes with actually being innovative. I'll be sincere to tell you this. When you see this young man, Mark Zuckerberg, coming up with Facebook, that was a young man that was sent to one of the most wonderful and best schools in America, but he had to drop from school in order to follow his dream. Today we say Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. I know he has his evils, that his wrong parts, and everybody has that. I'm not his supporter, but the spirit he demonstrated as a young man, where even in the university, Harvard University, not as if his parents could not send him to school, in the second year of his university, dropped out of school because he wanted to follow his passion. Why? Entrepreneurship is supposed to be a passion. It is supposed to be a passion, and every passion must be brought to its realization. And what was his passion? His passion was to make sure that every home, every individual is having a computer. And today,
Prof's connection. Prof, are you there?
sorry for that. Sorry for that light hitch that just happened there. Okay, I was saying something. I was saying that Bill Gates was able to bring this laptop that I'm having in front of me right now to what it is because of his passion, which is that innovative spirit we are talking about. Zuckerberg was able to connect the world where we could chat with one another and feel at home. We are using Zoom today. It is the innovation of an individual. We could do something with that and be able to make sure that our world become the place where we want it to be. Africa can become the place where we want it to be, can become what we want that it should become. And that can only happen if each African becomes innovative. There's Isaac with us here. I encourage him as a young man. He is not just an agriculturalist. He is a young man who is actually having a strong desire to see that his life stands economically and to encourage others. I saw him making candles, making oil, rubbing oil and all that. That's body cream and all that. Those are things, making soap, bathing soap. Those are some of the basic things that you will find that most young people go to the university, they learn chemistry, but they never are able to even make a soap. That is one of the things that you will see. They can't create a soap industry when they had gone and done chemistry in the university. You ask the question, what is the benefit of the education that they are actually taking? You get to realize that the education that they are taking is an education that is oriented to make them become dumber. Because in those parts of in their schooling, they don't encourage them to become creative and innovative. They don't permit them to think. They permit them to memorize. So the African educational system is an educational system that permits Africans to memorize but not to think. And that is what I think, that if we are going to encourage innovation, in Africa, we must implement this kind of educational system in Africa that encourages the innovative spirit of every youth. And those are some of the things that, as an individual, I see that when handled, Africa will become that place that is supposed to be. I remember when, as a young man, I actually told myself I don't want to be employed by anybody. So I decided to learn how to make uh, bathing soap. I learned how to make uh, uh, body lotion. I learned how to make flour. So as an individual, I can open a flour company right now where you use cassava, you use sweet potato, you use plantain, all that to make flour. And all those are things that I learned because I thought it was necessary to be able to come up with something and make our society to become a less consuming society and become a more productive society. The African society, until it steps into entrepreneurship, it will remain a consuming society. And that is what we need to discourage. And that is one of the reasons why I think platforms like this were created in order to motivate young people to see in the light of innovation. We are not meant to only remain as consumers. We were not meant to be consumers. With all the knowledge we have, Africa remains one of the most backward society in the world, not because we are supposed to be backward. I always like to quote to you and inform you that our ancestors were the most innovative. The civilization that is being talked of today so much started in Africa because of the innovative spirit of our ancestors. You could look around and you will see writing started in Africa. It's not just because it was supposed to start in Africa. It's because of the innovative spirit of African people. That particular gene is still in you. It is still in me. It is in each one of us. And I am struggling to link you to the past to make you understand that if they had told you that Africa had never contributed anything to the world, search around the world, you will see that most of the innovations, most of the inventions that today are being applauded and credit given to white people were actually created by black people. Do your research and you will see that. That is to make you understand the black man in no occasion is sleeping in his mind. The black man is a thinker. The black man is somebody who is always thinking on how to innovate. And that is something that is buried in each one of us. Until we awaken it, Africa will go nowhere. And I believe that the economic strength of Africa is found in each and every African citizen. And until that African citizen is able to connect inside of him and stop depending on his government, you will end up becoming a beggar. So I think it is time for us to look inside, because where we are supposed to bring those innovations from is inside of us. Where we are supposed to bring the best that will be able to change the status of Africa before the world is found in each and every one of us. And so I want you to know, it is not a mistake that you find yourself in Africa. Some of you have been asking questions, why didn't your ancestors, why were your ancestors not carried as slaves to go to Europe so that you could become an American or a European? But I will tell you, that is a wrong plea and a wrong cry. You are where you are in that nation where you, in that very state where you are in Africa, because that is where you were supposed to be at a time where Africa will need you. So I think that for Africa to emerge, we need to get back, connect to our creative spirit. When we connect to our creative spirit, we become innovators and we'll be able to change a lot of things in our society. And the African society will surely emerge to become what we expect that it should become. So I think that in order to curb, because in relation to the African Development Bank, they have a vision that in the year 2022, we are just a year and some few months from that time, Africa, through entrepreneurship, is supposed to create 122 million jobs. That is the statistics and let me say the speculation of the African Development Bank, something that's supposed to happen within 1 year and some few months, 1 year, 2 months from today. And so I am one of those individuals who believe that that vision can be reached and reached in a better way, where our innovative spirit awaken. We do not only come to do businesses because we see people doing business, because I've seen a lot of people get involved in businesses and they say they are entrepreneurs, where they go buy goods from somewhere and come and exchange somewhere. They do it because they saw somebody doing it. They do it because they lacked employment. Yes, you could. I want to say something to us. Lack of employment could become that trigger that can provoke innovation. But innovation should not be dependent on going to buy goods from somewhere and sell them. That's retail business. That is not innovate. That's not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship goes beyond doing retail business. So we must get to that place. If Africa must emerge, we must get to that place. And it's my cry that every African youth should see and realize that the life that we expect to live is not supposed to be actually proposed to us from the Europeans. Europeans should not tell us the way we live. They should not give us what we should live for. We should be able to live for what we want, and we should be able to give the world what they will exchange their money for. We are on the look today because most of us, we think that Europe is a place where we are going to succeed in. We think that might be because the government didn't give us a job, Europe is that place where we can go. And that is why you see a lot of young people running and dying in the Mediterranean Sea, because they think that their nations can give them jobs and the governments are not employing them. And so as a result of that, they cross over the Mediterranean Sea, and some of them are dead there. We will never be able to bury them naturally as we are supposed to bury them, because they are all drowned, they are dead. Fishes have eaten them up. And those are some of the things that we need to discourage from Africa. We need to also stop the brain drain that is happening right now, where our fine minds are actually exported to Europe to go and give their best there, while we remain in Africa and we are in lack. We need to stop that by being able to give the best to our society. And that is where also we need to come in now to encourage our various governments to be able to make sure that they stand to give grants to these young entrepreneurs. If these grants are given to encourage the young entrepreneurs, it will be very, very effective in promoting the African economy by being able to boost these young people, the entrepreneurs. When they emerge, our economy will also emerge. And once we encourage them and discourage the foreign investments that are happening in Africa right now, where most of our governments freely accept Chinese people to do retail businesses in Africa, they encourage Chinese people, Europeans, to actually come and do the basic things that we are supposed to be doing. That is not supposed to happen in Africa. We are supposed to let go of, stop that. We are supposed to discourage that if we want to see Africa emerge. So it is my plea that our African society, young people, should see what will make them become great and follow it. As well as many of those of us who have been feeling like maybe it is only in Europe that we can make it, I want to encourage you, you can make it here. You can make it here.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof, for that answering that question. It really goes, a long way to let us understand, because there's this nature, or I don't want to say nature, but there's this mindset that has been successfully planted in Africans' minds, that the Western, whatever Western is better than African, and that is a mindset that we all have to work towards, you know, against. Actually, we have to work against, to be able to build our own, to be able to make our own. And yeah, thank you so much. And Mr. Dennis, I want us to talk a little bit. Excuse me. I want us to talk a little bit about digital entrepreneurship. Does does it have a place in Africa? And what do you, according to you, think is a future for digital entrepreneurship in Africa?
Yeah, thank you very much. As a before that, I will pick from the professor's submission that our governments are not pro people. When you talk of the digital entrepreneurs, I see by message online of recent university students from Makerere University innovated tear gas. Tear gas is the most hot product in Uganda because of opposition, protests, and university strikes. It's the most wanted product. It consumes much of the police budget. But this guy was hunted by the Inspector General of Police. He should go to prison. Innovation of tear gas is the patent of the government and police. Such a people would have gone to the kind of the incubation centers, and they promote such innovations to save government out of money. Supporting the economy doesn't mean you pay tax. Just one innovation can save government a lot of money, can save the economy a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you have been importing tear gas, billions of dollars, now this money is going to be consumed locally. So as he said, one, the government is not for entrepreneurs, what we call forced entrepreneurship. The people who go to do business, to do entrepreneurship, have been frustrated elsewhere. It's like a first entry into the business. Once they get the kind of job they want, they leave. Even if the business is still catching up, even if the innovation is still catching up, but he has got some small job somewhere, the person leaves and he closes the business. That's how business die day by day. Some people exit because they have been there for first reasons. Technology is, in this 21st century, technology, I don't think without technology we can survive. Even the remote parts of the world depend on technology. So it means once we encourage young people, our young people into it is higher than old people. They are more adaptive to technology. They need little resources to invest in technology. Programming, these games, cartoons, robots, whatever. So it means to promote one, investment in technology, tax waivers in technology, tax incentives for young people who want to, or other entrepreneurs want to invest in technology, and still promote. Why is government, for example, in Uganda, there are entrepreneurs that have set up for farms to assemble cars, to assemble laptops, but the government is still importing laptops from outside the country. So we have the market, but if we don't use it, it means we are not giving an incentive for people who have put in their time and resources to innovate. They need to be supported in terms of market. Support is not only in terms of finances, in terms of tax incentives, but also supporting them to buy locally. It means these people will get more appetite to invest into tech-led investment. Yeah. So to me, there should be a deliberate effort by governments to attract investors into tech-led investments because the multiplier effect is very high. They save us a lot of things: cost of living, improve cost of living. For example, if I travel this meeting, you travel from Cameroon, you come to Kampala, the other person travels the other side. It will be very costly for the meeting. Couldn't have taken place, but with technology, communication, partnerships, business transactions become easier. But the biggest challenge is when you find our young people here investing in technology peanuts. When you have an innovation, you don't have any center of excellence. We talk of incubation center. Americans have the Silicon Valley where the people with brains go and incubate and innovate, and they're supported to promote their brands across the world. That's what we are lacking here. People have ideas, young people have ideas, people can innovate, but our governments are not sensitive to this innovation that can save our economies a lot of money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So what you're basically saying is, especially like Prof gave an example of this young boy who used cartoon to make planes and stuff. There's a lot of them, actually. There's a lot of them. I was actually reading about this other young man who actually made an ATM machine out of cartoon, and it was actually working properly, so our main we don't have bodies that can sponsor or can back up these innovations out of fear of our own, or is it out of the need to always want to import and feel like, we're using better products than what we can manufacture in Africa?
Technology is so broad. One, you have to create a brand and promote the brand. People buy brands. People buy people. Number two, you have to be protected. There must be a deliberate government policy to protect the innovators. Copyright, patenting, all that. You need to protect your ideas. Some people come up with new ideas because others have bigger muscle in terms of investments. They lose their ideas because they are not protected. They lose appetite to do more innovations. We need to copy from maybe other countries in Europe where a person comes up with an innovation, the person is protected, the government is on the case, the brand is sold across the world, which is not the case here. So the point is we have innovative people. We have innovative people, young people, willing to put in they have a lot of time to use technology, to use all the tools available in order to create brands in terms of technology and the commercialization.
Right.
But what we don't
Okay.
But what we don't have is a deliberate government policy to promote tech-led investment. We have Ministry of Science and Technology. As to what has been done in the past 5 years is to just bring the cars and a few spare parts and assemble from here that they are manufacturing cars. That is not entrepreneurship. Low content development. Low content is attracting people into production, into manufacturing. Our economies are based on agriculture. But tell me how a young man will plant coffee and wait for seven years to harvest. Some, leave alone these perennial crops, but commercial crops, the cocoa, they take a lot of time. So we have to tap these people into the value chain, value addition, add value, and use technology, websites, and digital designs to promote their brands, market them, sell online. These are kind of technology-led investments that our people can benefit from.
Okay.
The older people have the farms, have the land, have the money to wait for the investment for a long time. But young people, they don't have that appetite. First of all, they don't have the land. They don't have the investment to put into cocoa production, into coffee production, and other crops for export. But what they have, then they have the time to tap into the value chain, agribusiness value chain.
Okay.
They have the time to design products to sell online, to tap into foreign markets and attract good prices.
Consumers, yes.
So for me, our governments should wake up. Let's not welcome these people when they have no jobs. That they only come to this to be entrepreneurs when they have not got jobs. We should, from the beginning, from the school curriculum, from the orientation, from the young people, by the time they get up, they know entrepreneurship is a strong base for economies. They will participate. No doubt.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis, for that. Prof, I think one of the points, or the points that Mr. Dennis has highlighted, actually is a challenge that Africa as a nation, as a continent, faces with digital entrepreneurship. Are there other challenges that Africa faces when it comes to entrepreneurship, and the what can be done to accelerate entrepreneurship in Africa? And we're talking about entrepreneurship in its real sense. We're not talking about the small kiosks that that is being regarded as entrepreneurship in Africa.
I'm not getting you at all. I don't know why. If I got you well, because I
Can you
didn't
hear me
get
now?
you, I can't say I got you clear. But if I got what you were saying, I don't know if you were asking what are the challenges of entrepreneurship, or what were you saying? And how can we
Yeah,
overcome
what are
them
the challenges?
of
Yeah, how
entrepreneurship?
can we overcome them? And
Okay,
exactly.
uh, I will begin by saying that it is obvious that entrepreneurship should have challenges. And in our African society, one of the greatest challenges to entrepreneurship in Africa is finance. Finance. Because a lot of young people in Africa are innovative, like I said, because young people are getting to abandon the colonial educational methods, and some of them are choosing to follow the path of African uh, educational system, the ancient African educational system, where the focus in building what is inside of them than in building, gathering information that they can use. So they become innovative and creative. But what is lacking in all of these, what is holding them from expressing these wonderful ideas that they have, what holds them? I want to use myself as an example. I remember back in 2000 and 2002, 2003, I think then I was just in the university. I entered university 2000. I think that was 2002. When I went there, I decided to say, okay, I'm going to start making beauty soaps in order to be selling it to make money. I started making some of the beauty soaps, and in making this beauty soap, I got to a place where I got stuck. The, the demand that one person gave me was high, that I needed finances to make sure that I am able to supply towards the demands. But I looked for money. I asked everybody I could. Nobody gave me that money. And so I lost the contract because I lacked money to supply more of that bathing soap, that beauty soap. And at the end of the day, you get discouraged because a lot of young people abandon, even when they get engaged in entrepreneurship, they get there's discontinuity because of one, finance. So money is the first limitation, challenge to most young entrepreneurs, startups. Finance to continue is always the challenge. And this financial problem has several ways it could be solved. I know that most at times we always think that the best way is to depend on the government to actually sponsor your business. But I'll tell you one secret in entrepreneurship which Africans lack, because Africans have a wrong way of thinking. Africans are thinking like this based on the way they were brainwashed to think, based on that divisional mindset that was created, where each individual feels like I need to create my thing. When I create it, I am the one who owns it and I don't need anybody to partner with me. But one of the solutions to the financial problem in entrepreneurship is partnership. Partnership, not just because you want to say, okay, I need this person to come and give money. So no, it's more than that. Where you are willing to lose a part of the business so as to be able to gain in financing. And this partnership is not just looking for your family brothers and sisters to join you, because most of the times that is what we think is the solution, that we should either meet our family brothers and sisters to meet up with us. They will not sponsor it. They might give you some money, but they will never be able to sponsor it. You need somebody who sees the way you see, who has the same passion, but do not have the idea you have. Because I will be sincere to tell you, a lot of people have said that money is the greatest limitation to entrepreneurial expansion. But I can tell you, money is not truly the problem. It is the problem of mindset. Why did I say so? Because the first capital to each business is an idea. When you have a concise idea and you are able to sell that idea, the finances that you need to be able to expand that idea will be made available. Now I'm talking to you from my book. But you needed to buy it so that you should learn from there. So the basic idea is the capital. But you must learn how to sell the idea in order to get the money you need to expand the business. And so young Africans want to do what they call soul entrepreneurship, where they do their personal business. But you must always think beyond that particular dimension. You should think beyond the scope of what you are, beyond the scope of your home, beyond the scope of that country where you are, and think and see your business as an international business. When you see that, you will locate the right partners. How do you do that? Okay, before I get to explain that, I want to quote something. How many of you have read the story on how Bill Gates expanded his business? You will realize that when Bill Gates got to start, he started as a partner with somebody else. He just didn't start alone. And later on, when their idea became well established, they carried it to the public. And in the public, they got shareholders who invested their money in making sure the business expands. Today, Microsoft is an organization, and Though Bill Gates has retired from being the chairman of Microsoft, he's still the highest shareholder of the company because the idea was his. And he is one of the richest in the world. How many of you must have studied how the Apple computer got its strength, got to be sold? When you have go studying, you find that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, these two guys, they came together and started that business. It started with two, then expanded, and later on it had a great group of persons. What am I telling you? It is possible for Africans youth to start thinking beyond themselves, start thinking partnership. If you have to overcome the financial situation that you are facing right now, you need to be able to partner with those who have the finance to be able to push your business. Don't always think that when they come in, they will own your business. Even if at times you are going to give 60% share of your business and own just 40 because you want to see that the idea expands, do it. Why? When you have the money, you will then be able to start another company if you wish to. And those are some of the things that limit most of us young Africans because we think very limited. We are myopic in our way of thinking. We see just how to feed our homes. I'm just looking for bread. That's the way we think. I'm just trying to make ends meet. That's the way Africans speak. I'm trying to make ends meet. We should not try to make ends meet. We should try to add to the world we have met. If that is the way you are thinking, you will become not just a giant entrepreneur, but you become as well a prosperous young man. Most Europeans have become prosperous. Most American youths are getting prosperous. It's not because they are too brilliant, because if they are placed in the same classroom with you, you will become better than they do. I mean what I'm saying. Yes, if you are placed in the same classroom with them, you'll find out that you are better than they do. I am talking from experience. Okay, I will explain something to you. Going further, how to overcome the financial problem also is the second way. The first was partnership. The second is grants from the government. The government must get to a place where it sees the youthful engagement in economy as a path towards the, how should I put it? How, when young people get to be fully involved economically, they tend to forget a lot of stress that they have gone through. Once they are able to make it, some of them forget about politics. Most young Africans get involved in political talking and thinking, though not getting active in it because of lack of jobs. The think, the talk. Is somebody hearing me? Are you getting me? Is someone? Oh.
Promoting him as promote him, but the government is bringing in more investors from outside, and even they are just putting him on the side of the road instead of promoting that person. Remember, Badia is now employing more than 3,000 workers in his company, but you're still hardware. It is a big company, but the government is not looking into him, promote him. That is the first problem we have. Good governance If we have the good governance, for sure now Africa we should be the champions, the whole globe. Take an example, what happened in Mali? Because of poor governance. That's the problem. Is protesting stop the government and was forced to if you have a good governance, okay, in my country, the government is some of the implementations in our governance are well implemented for sure. The constitution under constitutionalism, that point, I put on that thing or Mr. Dennis, because they are the main panelists. Then we go to favor policies on trade. Policies on trade, yes. Open markets, if you have the open markets, global markets. So if they are for sure, our goods can be so.
Thank you very much, Isaac, for that contribution. I can. Prof, can you hear me?
I am getting you.